the President and Chief Executive. Also Chair of the Cabinet.
What is being distributed is a policy document from the Ministry of Justice. It is not part of the agenda today. It is meant for you to read. Your Excellency, President Republic of Liberia, the Honorable Vice President, members, distinguished members of Cabinet, heads of SOEs invited to this Cabinet meeting, I would like to say welcome to our first Cabinet meeting of the year. As you are all aware, a full schedule for the year for Cabinet meetings have been circulated, and I'm sure every member of the Cabinet has up to you to organize your schedule accordingly, because Cabinet meeting is an obligation, because Cabinet is the highest decision-making body of the government. Today's Cabinet meeting will dwell on a single agenda item, and that will be a discussion of progress made so far on the implementation of the AID. As you are aware, the AID is our development plan that will span, that was made to span 5 years, ending in 2030. So it is the singular roadmap that will track our development as a country over the next few years. So today's Cabinet really is to get at least an idea of how much progress has been made on the AID, and there'll be reports on the 6 pillars of the AID. In this meeting, we've also invited pillar heads, many of whom are Cabinet members, co-pillar leads, sector leads, many of whom are from the SOEs and government agency institutions. So you will have a few new folks, faces in Cabinet this morning. We invited the NPA, the Water and Sewer Corporation, the PA, LEC, and the Governors Commission. We also have in our midst a new member of Cabinet, and that is the Honorable Cornelia Kura, Minister of Youth and Sports. Kura, Minister of Youth and Sports. Can you please stand up?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come from evil, but thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
I want to welcome all of you, and some of you have been on trips. We're happy that you are able to get back safely. And I think I don't know whether since are there any other cabinet ministers who have not been to cabinet meeting? Now, Tingba, have you been here since you took over? Okay. Any other? Okay. The cabinet meeting, you have the agenda. Critical issues that we need to look at. And one of the reasons is that we've been coming to cabinet meeting, but sometimes the agenda is so long, we're not able to exhaust it, or maybe we don't get much out of it. So maybe doing the encapsule like it is, we'll make a good try to see how much we can do. According to the agenda items, economic transformation, infrastructure and development, rule of law, governance, anti-corruption, environmental sustainability, and the human capital development. I think these are very key issues, in fact, key issues to governance. But let me start by thanking all of you. I think a lot of ministers have really gone overboard to do a lot of things. And when I say ministers, let me also add managing directors of public operations, some of whom have gone very much overboard to do a lot of good things. With all the criticisms, we know that a lot of good things are happening. People who want to notice good things are getting happy, and we want to show appreciation to all of you who are making this happen. As a matter of fact, I think that's one of my weaknesses, to notice the good in people. A few days ago, I had to write a letter to the goalkeeper of the Arsenal goalkeeper. And the letter, I think, had been delivered to just show when somebody does good things. I mean, I've seen people writing goals, but it's an exception. Not just, even if I were to see in another. And so it is always encouraging not just to criticize people, but to also recognize the good things that people do. So a lot of you have done good work. We hear even at Public Works that have gone wide and doing a lot of things in communities. It is not necessarily so that for everything you do, we personally tell you to do it, but it's within the scope of your work to do the things that you're supposed to do. Of course, we take the blame, but so be it. We know that in the long run, people will begin to appreciate the good things that are happening. Nobody likes to see their houses demolished when they build them. But of course, when they had flood, the government is responsible. Everything bad, government is responsible. So we have to do certain things to help them for the future. I hope there was a way that we could make them know our real intent and how we become reasonable with them, but it's the best thing to do for the future of this country. So I want to thank all of you who have gone overboard in your ministries to take some very hard decisions to make things work. That's what we need to do. A lot of things have gone wrong for too long, and people begin to feel that that's the way it's supposed to be. Today's cabinet meeting is focusing on very key issues. But I'd like to start with not just welcoming you, but to express my appreciation for some of the decisions you're making, some of the things that are happening, gender, education, whether it be general services. I think people started appreciating the EJS building, because that building was there, was not painted. It doesn't show even well to people who gave you something and they don't see you do something about it. But we must stay focused. That's the work we're supposed to do. And among all the criticism, I'm sure there are more people, especially people who live in overseas. They call, they commend for some of the things they are seeing happening. But of all the things that we do, job creation The Liberians, of course, there are a lot of Liberians who don't, when they talk about bread and butter issues, some of them think that you're supposed to always carry them a bag of rice or something like that. But the bread and butter issues are even those issues, like the yellow machines that are here, that are going to help to open up the country, to create employment opportunities. Of course, we're talking about employment opportunities. People who thought that employment will said they don't want to work for anybody. So when you open up the country, you create opportunities in agriculture, unreachable areas that they can go there and do their farming, where they can control their own income means, and some of those people are very grateful. Like as always in Liberia, some places you hear 133 when it's 137, but this is likely to happen. But I've listened to a lot of songs, seen a lot of yellow. All of us are wearing yellow now, so we see that. That you are here, you know what is happening around the world. And that's why they always say, when you climb the palm tree, don't overstay. Some kind of bad breeze might meet you. Who expected what is happening now? So sometimes when we talk about what we're supposed to do at the right time, a lot of things are going to change with what is happening in the Middle East. And especially for countries like ours, going to harm us. And this is why we should take control of things that we're supposed to do and do them timely. Sometimes we take too long to get things done. Of course, you get things done, so soon you will see fewer prices going up. We've been trying to negotiate already with people, suppliers, but for sure you can't keep that down. It's not you, it's out of your control. So some of the things that we could have done when fuel were cheap, we didn't do. We got to pay high for them now. But we should expect that. But then again, it's part of life and part of management. As we expect that to happen, we should be planning to say, as it's going to happen, what are we going to do? And I'm happy that some people are already ahead. The Economic Committee met to examine the situation and to begin to think as to what are the measures to take. Of course, a few days ago we talked with some suppliers of products. We're going to have some shortages. Maybe they will tell you whatever we have in the stock for how long. Some business people are already starting to take advantage of that. But we also are preparing to make sure that our people will bear the burden, but it will be in a way that it won't throw people out of business completely. Another thing we notice is that the cabinet is a family, and quite often we have programs, and a lot of cabinet ministers are absent. Maybe they think that by discretion they want to come or they don't want to come, but we don't look at it that way. Unless where you don't have the chance to come, but cabinet programs are a must, because if you don't come, then who do we expect to come? For example, the other day we had intentionally had this program for the diplomats, the people that you work with, and we said the diplomat and the cabinet ministers. And we're a little bit disappointed that very few cabinet ministers turned up. We don't want to go into the habit of saying, if you don't come, this will happen. But definitely, we're going to be taking note. The performance record is still been taken. The director of cabinet tells me that a lot of people have been reluctant, but this is something we require people to do, because how else do we keep track on what you do? We have to see your performance. We have to see that because months go, a year go by, we're in our third year. By now, a lot of things should be in place. And I hope the Director General is keeping record of that. And for those people who have not been responsive, now that it's quite understood what it's all about, we hope that you gear up to do that. I've been a little bit thinking about with $8.4 billion on the AAID, how do we realize this 8.4 billion? This is a goal we have set for ourselves, and we all have to work in concert to be able to accomplish this. It is what we said ID, and unless all of us can work towards it, we're not going to be able to achieve it. Job creation is very important, and just thinking about investment. They'll go to your house, come to your office, come to this. You have to see them. You're not in a photo mood. They want for you to take photos. It's difficult to tell them when you can't. But as much as we hear about people coming, investors and everybody bringing them, I don't realize much of it. Of course, some of the investments that have been done and the way some investors are being encouraged, and a lot of things are happening, but there are very key investments that we must see happen. Especially as we respect to the Putu mine. We're now going to put the Vice President completely in charge of that to make sure that who are not going to perform, people who are going to front. We've passed our age. We want to make, there are specific requirements, no matter how long it takes. They have the resources, they have the competence to manage such huge resources. They also must make sure that value has been added, and we cannot overlook. But that doesn't mean that it has to be forever. So we hope that I feel very reluctant to tell people not to go on trip when we get these letters. I'm sure there are some trips that we can forego, but to move the economy, to create employment, some of the trips we're not going to allow people to go. There are some trips that some men, like I've said before, can go. Everybody, probably sometimes it's not enough. And sometimes people represent you, but you don't believe that you are well represented. So while we are making trips that are extremely necessary, we have to create jobs. This country had gone through a lot of problems are not productive, but trips that could be delayed, or maybe some subordinate can go, and we make sure that we haven't put the president telling you they're making progress, the president telling you they're making progress. What we want to see is result, and I hope we can work towards while I'm talking about that, I also want to mention countries People think they can push everything here, substandard things. We just dedicated the standard. But it was not just a ceremonial exercise. That bureau must be effective. There are a lot of things that here, whether in the intolerance issue, whether in that bureau has a lot to do with the steel that has been produced, the aluminum, the alloy, all of these things. That's the house I live in. I've been there 44 years. The same aluminum is there. I do not intend to see the same thing, but we also got to be on top of things that we have to what come to this market. It's not a dumping ground. The Ministry of Commerce has a lot to do, and I'm saying that, I'm not emphasizing it. That ministry has a lot to do in terms of food products that come to this country. I see a lot of friends, they are kind. Oh, when Christmas comes, take chicken. We don't have a chicken feet. We are a country that used to produce chickens. And some of these chicken, bringing hearts of this and that, we are not here to throw away things to our people. So that ministry, we have to get forceful. They got to work and make sure that the Liberians get the products that are consumable, products that are quality. It's not a dumping ground. And so if we haven't been doing it, let's know the importance of that ministry to the economy. Of course, we've been able to the committee headed by the VP to reduce prices because a lot of things have been going wrong in our place there. People just producing. The business people are ahead of us. They are very smart. That's what they call hitting inflation. You can do it in many ways. You can make toilet tissue look big, but it's not properly compact. I mean, you can cut down the quantity of perfume in the soap. It's still hitting inflation. You think you're paying for the thing, but not the same thing you're paying. We have to be able to tend to make sure that we get quality for the money we spend. And I hope that that emphasis with the ministry is enough. I hate places where people. One thing, I have worked in institutions. There are people that by nature may not like me and so, but I always like to make sure that we get the right people. Sometimes they don't have to like you, but they must do the work they're supposed to do. That is more important to me sometimes than people who like you. Because you go to some ministries, they don't want to work with their person, they don't like their person. We didn't go look for a matchmate to see who you were like. We were bringing people that will contribute. If you see they don't contribute, we can replace them. But I really want to appeal to them. And the other thing also is to know that we are one government. There are a lot of ministers here who make decisions. They go and undermine those very decisions by going to push the people from over there to resist. I can tell you nobody here means so much that they cannot be removed. If we sit down and agree on something, if you have disagreement, say it right there. But you cannot agree on something and you go and undermine it, we find out you will go. we are running a government. And if we don't know this country is one of the most difficult, this country has gone through a lot. The Liberian people want result. We sit here, we say this is the way things should go. Every minister here has a responsibility. We have the Minister of Justice, that's our lawyer. If they gave us advice that is not correct, they're responsible for it. But we cannot sit and agree on something and you go and agitate the people to tell them don't. Once we find it will come up anyway. Once we find it up, then you will leave us because then you don't intend to be part of a team. And we see a couple of that happening everywhere. If you don't understand it, discuss it. There are a lot of things here that have been holding up, and I hope that we will work on it, like the use of the Bommy Road there. By now, we should come up with a result. How those people who are mining in that area can come together with a bypass road, because they will soon start. We'll do the groundbreaking for the Bow Waterside Road, and the people cannot be on that road. And the people, we told them they want to invest. I can't hold you responsible because we inherited this agreement, but we are responsible for anything that happened after, and I hope we can do that. I had told the minister I was surprised for Bauchico to be building a port, whether it was part of the agreement. As much as it's a nice idea to have a port, but for foreign company to just build a port, you see it, I don't understand it. But we still are waiting to get resolved as to how that happened and how do we control that. We can't let the people take things out of our hands. So I just hope, and I must admit, we do have very good quality, competent people in the government, but we also have to be determined to make things work. I told you, we're not coming on anybody's agenda. We are trying to set a new agenda for this country. So, because I don't know who to copy from. And we should all work in concert, and we should all make sure that we deliver to the Liberian people. Forget about the noise out there. You do what is right, and let's work together to make sure this country. For the criticism you hear, I hear more praises from people outside, even friends who have been in government. So let's continue to do the work we do, and let's work together. We ministers are there to help each other. There might be one place and you have some idea elsewhere. That's why you are colleagues. So we just want to say we hope that we can, if there are further comments, we'll make them. But we have challenges, and they're going to be even more with what is happening globally. But again, Liberia is our case. That's what we're concerned about. I always tell the people who come, I said the mouse can eat, the elephant will not die. What we want for our country is small compared to what you want, but it is our country. And that's what we negotiate for. So let me thank you, let me welcome you. These are very key issues: human capital, environmental sustainability, governance, anti-corruption. A key issue that we have to address. We have to see what progress we have made, and we have to see what we need to do more of. Is Ko Bangaru here? I don't see him. Okay. All right, thank you. Wait.
May now leave us.